Since humans made music their own property, music has been treated in a good but also in a bad way. Some composers have done wonders, but those wonders are just a tiny fraction of the global music that is out there. Ancient Greeks understood music as something that describes the inner structure of the universe. Our ancestors had a very practical mind. They tried to explain the world based on facts. They tried to justify their theories with proofs and apply a scientific methodology. Science is the effort to know something well and thus be able to estimate, predict, and prepare for the future. Generally, we try to leave out of science things that we don't understand. For example, we don't understand anything about God, so God is not science. If one day we are able to understand how Jesus made his miracles, then it will no longer be part of the religion, it will be science. And through that way of thinking, ancient Greeks came to the conclusion that music is a fundamental element of the cosmos. Scientists nowadays come across musical patterns all the time. Wherever they look, they see musical patterns. From the electromagnetic signals in our brain to the sub noises that dolphins make to communicate with each other. Music is a universal archetypal mother language. Music is implanted in us all. But today, when you talk about music, your mind goes to unscrupulous producers that devaluate music to the level of a loop and devaluate singing to the level of speaking. Words spoken by young kids that barely had any life experiences yet. But because of their high level of hormones, they feel they need to state their opinion. And even worse, they believe that what they say have some sort of value. That is music for the most people nowadays. Low value loops combined with trash teen talk. However, music has a more deep, more spherical, more universal meaning. Music is an archetypal form of communication. When you don't know what to say, you send a song to your beloved one, and that says it all. Psychologists consider very ill people who never sing, not even when being alone. And as much as we think we know music, we ultimately realize that we don't. There is another thing that the more you try to reach, the more it goes away. God. We will eventually understand and answer many questions except the ones that matter most. Who are we? Where are we going? Why all this? Where is God? Is there a God? Music falls in the same category. We will never understand its power, its potential. We all fool ourselves that we are musicians, but we are pretty well aware of our ignorance. Nevertheless, we use music in everything. We need music in everything. In ads, in movies, in supermarket, in the gym, in the car, in sex, in sleep, in the spa. Music can be therapeutic, but can be also a deadly weapon. Its usage could have healing or catastrophic results. And most times the results are harmful, even though we do not realize it. We are misleading music to manipulate consumers and turn them to buyers of whatever junk we struggle to sell. We sing feud lyrics that contaminate our souls. Consider, for example, what is widely accepted concerning the psytrance music. People say, "You can't listen to this kind of music while being sober. This music can only be enjoyed under the influence of LSD or MDMA." Those are catastrophical complexes clustered to music. When people say, "I don't know much about music," they mean that they never had conventional music education. But when people say, "Yes, I do understand music," they mean that they understand the global message that music radiates. So at the very bottom, we all know something about music, because music made us. It remains one of the strongest forces in the universe. It speaks directly to your soul because it lives in the ideal world where everything is eternal. As technology evolves and civilization progresses, our scientists get to understand what our ancestors understood thousands of years ago, that music is divine, and we should be very, very cautious with its usage, which apparently is a harmless thing, but in fact, it isn't.